Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be filming a really fun video. Oh, side note, I'm wearing a top once again. I have to wear like the little tops because I get makeup everywhere when I do my makeup, but I have been on TikTok a lot recently and I have been noticing all of these makeup products that have been going viral because of TikTok, and I thought, why not film myself trying the products on? I purchased a bunch of products. I have kind of already used a product or two, but it's shampoo and conditioner, for example, because I'm not going to pause the camera to wash my hair and then I'm not gonna do all that. Let's get right into the video. I have nothing on my face right now. I just applied moisturizer to my face and some Vaseline to moisturize my lips. I will say I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I bought products that are primarily face. Anything like eyes, I'm gonna use what I have because what I've been seeing trending mostly on TikTok are face products. So like foundation, concealer, blushes, bronzers. So that is what I bought. As I was putting everything out right now, I'm still trying to figure out what I bought because I just walked into stores and I just picked up whatever I have been seeing a lot of on TikTok or just on social media in general, but mainly TikTok. The first thing I'm going to use this one size primer. It's called the Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. So it's like this. The one that I use a lot is the Hourglass one, and I like the consistency of this because of the way that it's not like sticky, it just kind of goes on very matte, whereas this one I can tell is a little stickier. Oh, it's kind of hard to push out. I don't really know how much of this I should put on. That's probably good. I'm just gonna use the brush to blend this out. And while that's kind of setting in, I'm gonna do my brows really quickly because I like to let primers and anything that is kind of acts as a base before foundation to sit on my skin for a minute. So I'm gonna let that sit and I'm gonna do my eyebrows, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished my eyebrows and I guess it's not really cheating because the few times that I have seen people mention eyebrow pencils, they have mentioned the Anastasia brow pencil, which is something that I have used for many years. I have used many different products and I still go back to this one. I love how precise I can get my brow shape because of the consistency. I don't know what it is, but I just love how it applies to my eyebrow and it just really does what it needs to do for me. Also probably mention that my skin is on the drier side, so this review still is helpful I think, but I will mention if the products are on the oilier side or drier side, matte or not. So far I like it. The primer has set, so I'm going to start on the foundation. I have been seeing this Charlotte Tilbury foundation everywhere. I got the color 5.5 in neutral because my skin isn't really warm or cool. It's more on just like the neutral side, or that's what the lady at the makeup counter told me. I always hate going in and getting color matched because it's usually off. I'm going to use my Real Techniques makeup sponge. By the way, the packaging on this is so beautiful. I love the gold. And always make sure you clean your hands before touching your face. I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna see how buildable it is. This is one layer. It blends out so nicely. I don't know if you can tell. The color is definitely my color. I avoid my under eyes to kind of avoid the cake. Okay, it looks really white on camera, but I swear it's not this white. Well, my light is really white, so I think that's kind of what's doing that. But I do like the consistency a lot. A little does go a long way. I know I said that I wanted to see how buildable it was, but I don't even think I want to do any more than that. You guys, I just looked at this foundation up close. Amazing. And I know I used a decent amount. Usually how much I use of this Too Faced Born This Way, and I still end up needing more. Also, with this one, it leaves patches, and I moisturize my face, I prime my face, and this will still leave patches. Like, I'll notice if I really don't get into it, I will usually have patches around this area, and this, I don't see any patches. I blended equal amount as I normally do, and it looks great. I think I just found my new favorite foundation. I like to contour first. I'm going to use this Fenty Beauty matte skin stick in Truffle. This is a contour I've been seeing everywhere, so I wanted to try it out. I like to just kind of focus more right on my cheekbone. I never go under, and then a little bit on my jawline, and then that little double chin. I'm gonna grab a buffing brush. Because I find that it blends faster. I don't really have the patience to sit there and like use my sponge, and I always bring it down my neck. My immediate observations on this, it's not as creamy. So what I usually use is which I've also been seeing a lot of, this Huda Beauty Tantour, and it's a contour and bronzer cream, and it looks like this. I prefer this for sure, because this blends out way easier. This goes on a little more matte. I wouldn't say matte, like obviously it's not, it's a cream, but it's not as creamy as this Tantour. However, if you're oily, this might work for you better in the long run. So if you have drier skin, I recommend this Huda Beauty Tantour, but if you have oilier skin, this Fenty Beauty's for you. I've spent so much time trying to blend this, and I've really had to like apply pressure, which I don't really have time for. Like, I like to just do my makeup quick. There's many steps to my makeup, but I know them like this, and I like to just do them super quickly. So if I find that a product is taking me longer to blend, I'm over it. I mean, it's still really pretty. For the concealer, I am going to use the Born This Way Super Coverage Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. A lot of people have compared this to Shape Tape and said that this is actually better. I have used Shape Tape for so long, and when I heard that, I was like, what? I'm gonna do some, oh, and this is in the color Swan. I'm gonna do some right here, some right here, and I always like to do a little bit right here, just anywhere that it's on the darker side. Oh, okay. I'm gonna compare. I'm gonna do Shape Tape, then the Born This Way. So the colors are like pretty similar. The Shape Tape might be a little darker. The Shape Tape is in color Light Sand. They're pretty similar in consistency, like a pretty similar coverage as well. This is Shape Tape and this is Born This Way, but the Shape Tape is thicker. Let's blend this out. I always like to bring it up. That's really nice. I want to compare the Shape Tape to this concealer. I've only done one layer on this side, so then I'm gonna do Shape Tape on this side. Same amount. I might still prefer the coverage on the Shape Tape. And mind you, the Shape Tape is also darker. Like, you can kind of tell. The Shape Tape, and this is the Born This Way. And this is a little darker than this, but I'm still seeing more of a brighter effect with the Shape Tape. I'm gonna do 2 layers. I don't know if you can tell. This just looks brighter than this, but I'm gonna do another layer. If anything, I've done more of this worn this way. I mean, it's still great, but Shape Tape still wins. Coverage, I mean. I know I've actually read a lot of people though, like in the comments especially, saying that Shape Tape is harder to blend, which I totally agree with. If you leave it on for too long, because I do like to leave the concealer on for a little bit to kind of set in, when I begin to blend it, it's a nightmare. But when you warm it back up again with the sponge, like when you kind of spend a minute blending it, it blends out really nicely. Are they both great? Yeah, but in terms of coverage, for someone that does have like a pretty dark under eye, I know on camera it doesn't look like it because of this light, but in person without the light, pretty dark. They look like pretty similar now actually. Now I can't really tell, now that I've done both. I usually just take the rest to my forehead. What I usually use for a translucent powder is this Laura Mercier, which I actually purchased another one of because this is just what I've used since I was like 16. I've used this translucent powder forever. What I have been seeing a lot of is this Givenchy translucent powder in number 1. It is a matte finish and enhanced radiance loose powder. The packaging is really pretty. It looks like this. And so it looks like it has 4 different powders, and I'm assuming like there's a green one to probably cancel out any redness, and lavender one, and then blue one. Interesting. So I'm assuming these are like a color correcting powder. So it looks like this. So when you open it, it has this little like powder puff, and then it looks like this. I guess I'm just gonna... So I just did this. I just kind of shook them all into this cap. What it says to do is remove the cap, take the powder puff, and press into it. But even when you're pressing into it, you're still gonna have to like mix it up. I am going to do what feels right, and what feels right is to put it on the cap and just give it a little swirl. If you watch my videos, you know I like to use a dry blender, and I'm just gonna like kind of swirl it. So it looks like this. So in person, it has kind of like a hint of blue. Interesting. Okay, so this isn't bad. Well, I don't want to speak too soon. A lot of people swear by this powder. I'm just tapping some of this onto the lid and just swirling the powders together. And I always like to blend to make sure there's no creasing before I set it, because once you set, what's done is done. It's permanent, so you always want to make sure no concealer has set into fine lines before you apply the powder. And I always like to bring it down this area. I just like to do that. I always like to add a little powder right underneath to emphasize my cheekbones. And don't let all the powder scare you. There's a method to the madness. I have a way to make sure this isn't going to be cakey. In person, definitely a blue hue to this powder. My Laura Mercier powder, it's like creamy white with like a hint of peach, I'm assuming to cancel out the purple under the eyes, whereas this is like a blue. I'm actually also gonna apply it on the sides of my nose. I'm not really the greatest nose contour, but I like to do a little bit, just like that. For my eyeshadow, super basic, my Naked Heat palette by Urban Decay. If you watch my videos, you know I love this palette. I use this palette in almost all of my videos. I'm going to grab a little bit of Key Devil, Lumbre, and Low Blow. So these 3 colors right here, I'm going to once again do the warm look that I always go for. So then I'm going to take Ounce, it's like a creamy color, to highlight, and then I'm just taking the same color using my finger to apply eyeshadow, because I find that when I apply eyeshadow to my lids with my finger, it's a lot more pigmented. I kind of clean it up. For bronzer, I'm cheating, and I'm going to use a bronzer that I already have, but when I was watching videos I noticed this bronzer come up a lot, and it's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the color Sun-Kissed. I'm just going to use a fluffy brush, and I always apply first to this area and then I bring it down. I like how nicely the translucent powder came off, although I don't know if I'm gonna like that for under my eyes. Laura Mercier translucent powder, usually right here I have to really blend to blend it out, so I like that it doesn't really stick to my skin as much as opposed to the Laura Mercier, but I don't know if I'm gonna like that under my eyes because I do like a really bright under eye. And I love this bronzer. This one blends really nicely. I love this one. So I don't usually use any like liquid blushes. I like to use more of a powder. However, for the sake of this video, I decided to pick up the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch blush in Happy. I have been seeing this Rare Beauty liquid blush everywhere. Everyone has been talking about how pretty it is. I'm gonna do just a little bit. I'm gonna use my sponge. Oh, see, this is why I think I used too much. Okay, definitely used too much. Okay, so lesson learned. A little goes a long way with this stuff. I always like to bring blush up to my temples for lifting effect. But it's a really pretty color. So another product that I've seen a lot of is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. It's a complexion perfecting micro powder. It's what I'm going to use for under my eyes to wipe off the powder. And I always like to use another powder to wipe off the baking powder under my eyes. And this is what it looks like. I got the color 2 medium. I'm going to use my favorite Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm just going to go like this. My initial thoughts, it's not really meant for coverage, and what I usually use is another like powder foundation to wipe off the powder under my eyes because I like that extra coverage, but this is more of just like a setting powder. It's not super cakey now that my face is done for the most part. I'm actually going to use a highlighter that I've had for a very long time, and I've noticed 2 highlighters that have been circulating. It's just something that I've been using for years now. It's this MAC Hyper Real Glow highlighter. It looks like this. So what I like to do is actually just use all 3 colors because one is kind of gold, another one is more of a pink. So I use that same little brush and I apply it, and it's really pretty because of how subtle it is. And then I always like to bring highlighter down my nose and on my cupid's bow. So now I'm going to apply my liquid liner, my mascara, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have done my liner, my mascara. If you guys want to see how I do my eye makeup, then make sure you watch my video. I'm gonna post it right here. I put the video up, I think it was my last video. As I was doing my mascara, my liner, the rest of my eye makeup, I took a closer look at my face and I love the foundation. The like contour bronzer, really pretty as well. The blush left a really nice color to my face, and then the highlighter as well, but the highlighter I swear by, I've used that for years. So now to finish off, I'm gonna do my lips. I'm gonna use this liner that I have been seeing all over TikTok as well. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Reshape and Resize Lip Liner. And this is in the color Foxy Brown. I like to do like a really nice brown liner with a nude lipstick. That is my go-to. And it looks like this. Oh, I love the consistency. It's such a creamy consistency. I usually use Cork by MAC, and then I always like to fill in the sides of my lips. Then for lipstick, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Kissing Fallen from the Lipstick Tree. It's so cute. So this is refillable and rechargeable. That's interesting. I don't know what that means. It looks like this. So this is the color. It is in Nude Romance, and it's like this really pretty nude. Oh, I love this. And I use the lipstick to blend out the liner. The consistency is definitely stickier. The color is gorgeous. I love this. I don't know if you can tell. 10 out of 10. So I also bought this Patrick Ta shaping wax. I've never used a shaping wax before. I know you usually do this before you apply your eyebrow pencil. I think that's how it works. But because I already did my eyebrows, I feel like this isn't a good idea. Although I do apply eyebrow gel after I shape my brows, so I don't really know if that's like the same. These products I've never used before. I know like soap brows is a trend. This is what it looks like. So I got the tinted one. I'm just gonna use the spoolie that's on the back of. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, that's really pretty. I mean, great product if you already use a product like this. However, it's too much work for me. You like really have to dig the spoolie into it. What I usually use, because I'm lazy, is just my Anastasia brow gel. Super easy. You just like go like this, but I think this is different. I think this you're supposed to shape for like a soap brow effect. I don't usually do that, but I could see how that could work for somebody. I just don't really have a lot of experience using products like that, like waxes. And also I'm gonna set my makeup with the Morphe setting spray, and I just apply to my sponge. So I'm actually gonna be going to dinner. I want to see how this makeup is going to last. A few other products I purchased. I got the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner. It's targeted mainly for people that have very damaged hair, whether it be from coloring their hair or from heat, which I do have pretty damaged hair from all the heat that I use. So I want to try this out. I tried it, I love it, and I do see myself repurchasing this. I'm gonna see how I feel when I finish these bottles. I love my slip hair ties. These are the silk hair ties that I talked about like a couple of videos ago, and I love these. I have the Baccarat Rouge 540 by the same brand. I don't know how to pronounce this. Maison Francis Kirk Dijon, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. So I kept seeing how everyone was raving about Gentle Fluidity. This is Gentle Fluidity Gold. So I wanted to try it out. It is a gorgeous smell. When it first comes on, it has kind of like a unisex smell to it. Not very sweet, more so like a cologne. I mean, I could see like a guy almost wearing this too. It goes on a little muskier, but it dries into this like really warm and cozy scent. So this is the final look. I am going to go to dinner and check back in a few hours, let you guys know how I feel. First glance, my initial reaction: foundation 10 out of 10. The bronzer I love. The contour 6 out of 10. I'm not crazy about the contour. I really wish it blended nicer. I feel like it just took a lot of work to blend. The blush as well. However, maybe I just applied too much, or I don't know. Seeing as many people loved it, it's maybe just more me, but it looks really nice now after I really blended it. I also did apply a lot of it, so a little goes a long way with that. And then the highlighter, love it. It's a really nice subtle glow. The under eye concealer, they look really similar, so I'm just gonna see how it looks when I get back from dinner. And then the powder, I'm not crazy about. I find the Laura Mercier still brightens my under eyes a lot more, but who knows. We're gonna see how this looks by the end of the night. Lips, I love like the brown nude kind of look. I know it looks really brown on camera, like kind of darker, but it's really pretty in person. I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. I tried to do my best. I know I was kind of figuring out some products on my own, like trying to figure out how to use some of the products myself. I hope that me trying on the products was helpful for you. I will check back in with you guys in a few hours. Okay guys, I am back. It's been maybe like 5 or 6 hours, and I was just looking at my skin. I haven't really touched it. I didn't touch up my lips or anything, or my face. I just wanted to give like a very honest review of the makeup products. Off the bat, I can tell that like the contour has come off, the bronzers come off, even with the setting spray. The blush is still kind of there, but it was a liquid blush. In terms of the foundation, it looks really good. My skin is dry, but it doesn't feel like super dry. It just feels normal. Like, I'm not oily anywhere. I mean, I usually don't get oily because my skin is dry. I also did set it with some powder, but I do notice some like creasing in my cheek lines, a little bit of my forehead, like between my brows. Yeah, the foundation is still pretty intact. I don't know if that's anything to do with the primer. The primer is okay. I'm not crazy about the primer. The Hourglass primer I usually use, I still think does a pretty good job, so maybe a little better than this one, but I've only used it once. So concealer, I would say my under eyes look like relatively the same. In person, like they look the same. I will say the Shape Tape definitely, like underneath on my lower lash line, it creased, whereas the Too Faced did not. The translucent powders definitely kind of came off a little bit. Then my lips, the liner stayed. The lipstick obviously did not, but the liner is still holding on a little bit. A lot of it came off obviously because I ate. That is it for a significant amount of time in this makeup. I still think it looks okay. There's nothing is like flaking, there's no patches. I don't see anything oily on my face, but I have dry skin, so I don't really expect anything. I would say that the majority of these products are great, but if you were, probably not worth it, probably not worth the hype. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you guys were able to kind of figure out what you wanted to purchase and what you didn't. If you were looking at any of these items, make sure you like the video, give the video a thumbs up. If you liked the video, leave any comments of what you guys want to see next, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any videos that I will be filming soon. Thank you so much for watching.